All right. Can you guys hear me? Let's see. Let me take this counter off. Oh, there I am. There I am. What's up? Man, what's up, guys? Levi LAX, you are in the house, bro. Man, I miss you, dude. We got tools, rusted root, boys. Man, we got a pretty good show today. I think it's going to be great. Let me check who else is in here. Everyone, please hit that thumbs up if you haven't put the thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Neil's in here. Nick Zapata. Ed. What's going on, bud? Ed Bart. Yeah, so you mentioned Fort Smith, Arkansas, man. So I used to do logistics for a company, and we were trying to win the bid to import the Umarex rifles from Germany. And we did a couple containers full, but when my company, it was German owned, when they found out they were actually guns and not air rifles, they freaked out and said no more, even if they were just 22 rifles. So they said, nah, we can't do it no more. So that was the end of that. But I got to go up there and check it out. And, you know, Umarex is a huge facility in Fort Smith. And I really like that town. I remember on the way up, I drove for about 30 minutes and I didn't see one car on this windy country road. And it was awesome. I actually took a video of that and put it on my Facebook. It was pretty cool. Let's see. Rusted Root, I'm glad you took a nap. Make sure did you take all your pills today too? I don't want you dozing off during the live stream. All right. So we have a very special guest today. Man, you guys know I use a sticky holster almost daily. I've used one. Can't show a gun on the live stream, but I use a sticky holster this is the third one I've had for this pistol because they kind of wear out after a couple years if you use them a lot, but it's all I've been using. So we actually have Eric from Sticky Holster. We're going to get him to join in real quick. Eric, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going, man.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, man. Thank you for coming on. I tell you what, I get so much grief for using a sticky holster. And I'm sure you probably hear all the stuff too. But, man, I love them, man. I'm a big proponent of them. They go in and out real easy. And I've been using it for almost 6 years now.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it. You know, obviously people get real passionate about things in life, and especially guns, firearms, Second Amendment, concealed carry. Right. I mean, all you got to do is bring up the 9mm45 argument, Glock 1911. Right. People are always going to have something to AK, AR. So you're always going to have something. But like I tell people, holsters are like shoes. People are going to be diehard Nike people. You're going to have diehard Reebok, and you can't wear the same shoes for every event. So we've never advertised or broadcast ourselves as the end all be all, but we definitely feel like we are a solution for a lot of people and for a lot of different situations and scenarios. And like anything, we're not the perfect holster. There is no such thing as a perfect holster. You know, I've got Kydex, I've got leather, I've got hybrid holsters, I've got sticky holsters, and you kind of just like a tool. You can't use a screwdriver to beat in a nail. So it's kind of depending on tools of the trade, what you're going to use for that scenario or situation or day, depending on your dress and activity. Right. We do feel like we're a solution for a lot of people.
Yeah. So let me give you a backstory. I'm a refugee from California. I escaped to Texas as soon as I could.
Congratulations.
10 years. I know. And I got anchor babies here now, so I can't get deported back to California. So I'm good, man. But when I first got here, I got my concealed carry as soon as possible. And I just went and got one of these, I think it's Uncle Mike's or whatever, paddle holsters. And it was all right, but this kept getting caught on my belt, and I would put it on. And when it's on, it's great. But to take it off, it kept getting stuck. And so I was like, well, that's no good. And then I got one of these tuck thingies. These, I don't know who makes Crossbreed tuck.
Crossbreed? Phenomenal company. Love those guys. Good people, good products. American made too.
When it's on, it's great, man. Soft, this leather back. It's really good. I used it for about a month. but I was taking it on and off because I do sales, right? And you can't go into these buildings with a concealed firearm. And some of the areas I went was kind of a shady area. So I'd always take it on, take it off, take it on, take it off. And these straps would get stuck on my belt, and it was kind of a pain. But with the sticky holster, it just goes in, goes out, goes in, goes out. And I don't have to worry about it. I'm a little husky, so appendix carry is not in the books for me. I mean, I could barely see my toes on a good day. So
I call that tactical girth.
Tactical girth. I like that. I'm going to write that down. We'll use that one. So I can't do appendix carry, but when I get in my car, I can just adjust it, and it's great, man. I dig them.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So how do you explain the sticky holster to someone that's never seen one?
Yeah. So the holster, I got a holster right here. I don't know if you can show blue guns on this, but
you can show blue guns. You just can't show red guns.
It's not sticky to the touch. So it's a synthetic rubber material, latex, allergen-free. I tell people think of it like soles on your shoes or tires on your car. So it's not sticky. You can drop it in dirt. It's not going to get like all gummy or anything like that.
Right.
So it just uses the high friction material, and under friction and compression, it holds in place. Now, the beauty and what we really like about the holster is that with a clip, it puts all the weight directly on your pants. So you have that 2 pounds pulling directly on your pants. You need a gun belt, something sturdy, things like that. Well, since there's no clip, it redistributes the weight throughout your entire waistband. So a full-size gun actually feels a lot lighter. People always think, well, it only works with the small guns. Well, the larger guns, you actually feel it more and understand, and it feels more comfortable. It feels lighter. The big thing that we get is, it doesn't have any retention, right? If people are like, oh, if I turn it upside down, it falls out, right?
Right.
So the retention is based on the compression of your waistband, right? So under a normal circumstance, like drop it inside my waistband, it almost takes the same amount of pressure to pull it out of the holster as a normal retention holster, right? So obviously we don't advertise this. This is not a tactical, run gun type holster, but you can tailor your retention based on the tightness of your waistband, right?
And
so
trust me,
just a little bit. I mean, it doesn't come out. But the nice thing is, here's an example that I tell people. You just came home from work. It's Friday night. You've had a hard, long week. You've taken your boots off, taken your work pants off, sit down on the recliner, crack open a beer, football game's on, and your significant other's like, hey, don't get comfortable. I'm making dinner. I need a gallon of milk. You're like, man, I gotta go put my boots back on, get my belt, pull my jeans out of the dirty hamper, put everything back on, gym shorts, whatever you're wearing, take this, pop it inside your waistband, run to the convenience store, grab a gallon of milk, and come back. And I tell people, you do that once a month, is that worth the $30 you spend on a sticky holster? And I've yet to have someone say, that's not worth it.
Yeah,
so it's a convenience factor too.
Yeah, it's so since I moved to Texas, I got plenty of pressure on my waistband. With all this barbecue, I mean, my waistband's been expanding. So that sticky holsters, it's clinging in for dear life down there. But I just really like that I can adjust it forward and back, and it's I want to say it's idiot proof. Now, the only thing I didn't like about the crossbreed, although I do like that holster quite a bit, is that if I tried to adjust it from front to back, the hooks will get stuck on a belt loop, and then I couldn't just adjust it. It was kind of like you said, if you're just going to throw it in for a few minutes, that's not the holster for you.
Yeah, and if you want to change the cant, you got to get a screwdriver out, change the clips, play with it. Ours, you can cant it, adjust the ride height, whatever is comfortable for you. And the other thing that is an advantage for us is the versatility and the modularity. So it's an inside the waistband holster that can also be used inside the pocket. And then with our accessories, you can use the same holster to carry in our belly band, garter belt, ankle biter converts a sticky holster into an ankle rig, our travel mount for off-body carry. You can mount it to a desk, nightstand, vehicle center console, all using the same sticky holster.
What I like is I like to stick it by the side of the chair in the car, and that compression there keeps it. So if I ever needed it, I could get it. But let's look in the chat here. So let's see. We have Hamilton Outdoors says, be great for my LCP2 22 carried every day. That's good, man. It would be great. I love it. Josue said, I thought sticky holsters were only for the pocket. You know, I've heard this a lot. I don't know if it's just people not knowing, but I've heard a lot of people, oh, I don't like pocket guns.
Yeah, I think the confusion is that so when we first started, there was like 2 clipless holsters out on the market, and they're only pocket carry holsters. Now I think there's a lot more competitors. They've kind of seen the success that we've had. But we're the only ones that it's an actual inside the waistband holster that can be used inside the pocket as well.
Right. There's another good statement from Santiago. I guess you would need to wear a gun belt to hold it better. Actually,
so the gun belt, the reason the gun belt is important on holsters with clips is to support the weight so the belt doesn't fold and give under the pressure. With ours, if you want a little bit more retention, any belt will work because it's just compressing the gun up against your body. It doesn't have to support any weight like a gun belt does.
A lot of the times, I don't even use it with a belt.
Yeah, as long as, I mean, drawstring, if you have athletic shorts, tighten the drawstring up, pop it inside, you're good.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it goes against the skin real good. What I do is I usually wear like a undershirt and I tuck that into my undergarment, and then I just put it between that. So I have quite a bit more, you know, pressure. But I've been using this 5-6 years. I've never had it fall out. I've dropped it a few times just because I just, you know, I'm an idiot and I just drop my gun sometimes. But, you know, I've never had a problem with the holster itself. And it's great. Let's see what else is in the chat. Let's see. Rusted Root, how does it feel against bare skin? Asking for a friend. It feels great, Rusted. Trust me. I've been using it for a long time.
Yeah, well, a question that we get a lot of times is, you know, I'm in Arizona or I'm in Florida. We're from South Florida. All these products are made either in South Florida or North Carolina. And I'm basically in shorts and a t-shirt and sandals 360 days out of the year. And the sweat doesn't have a negative effect on the sticky material itself. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to get a rash or anything. It's not going to irritate your skin. Now, if you have overly sensitive skin, you know, then you might want to choose to wear an undershirt, but anything is going to irritate your skin at that point. But it is latex and allergen free.
Yeah, and let's see. You got Ed Bart in the chat says he's going to have to try one. I would honestly, there's nothing wrong with having like a real nice leather holster, but having one of these just to, you know, like Eric said, just to throw in and out. I mean, I use it as my only holster, really. Let's see. Let's see. Tool says he's a Kydex addict. You know, hey, that brings back another. I've heard that you guys had something called Sticky Kydex. What was that all about?
Yeah, so maybe 5 years ago, we had a clipless Kydex system where basically we had a Kydex insert that went into a sticky sleeve. So our sticky material was on the inside and the outside of the sleeve. So the sticky material retained the Kydex inside the sleeve. It didn't have a great customer response, so we kind of discontinued that. But something that we launched last year, I'd like to show you. It's called our Comfort Pad. So one of the biggest complaints about a Kydex or a hard holster is it's uncomfortable, right? Mm-hmm. And so we said, you know what? They don't have to buy a sticky holster to buy a sticky product to make someone's life or make carrying that much easier and more comfortable. So this is a pad made out of our proprietary sticky material. And on this side, we have hook Velcro. And then we provide loop adhesive dots. So you mount these to the body side of your Kydex holster. And then if your pain points are towards the bottom, you just mount this slightly lower. So as you sit, it folds underneath. If your pain points are more towards the top of the sights, you mount it a little bit higher. So as you sit down, it folds over the back of the gun. It doesn't irritate you. But the benefit to this is it adds some padding and cushion between the hard Kydex and your body. And then the sticky material helps lock it in so it doesn't move.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I don't even notice it anymore. For me, carrying, do you carry every day?
Every day, yeah. I carry in my house.
Exactly. Because there's a lot, there's a lot of crazy stuff you see on YouTube about great neighborhoods, people just getting robbed. I keep it near me at all times, or it's on me in my house. My wife thinks I'm a little nuts, but when I'm on vacation or I'm doing sales calls out of the state, she's walking around with their 1911 and her, I think she bought that. She went to Walmart and got a holster for it, and that's what she wears around the house. But
well, you never know. I mean, you come in the house, you're not carrying a gun, you put it in your master bedroom, and someone kicks in your back door. Now you got to fight them to get to your gun. And I don't like leaving them around the house because I got small kids. So I either keep it on me, or it's in a gun safe, or my gun safe on my nightstand.
Right. What are the ages?
1 and 3.
Oh yeah, that's way too small. I have let's see, I think he's gonna be 9 and a 7-year-old. So they're fine. They already know. Like my daughter will come run in, Dad, you left your gun out. You better put it away. Mom's gonna get mad. So they know better than to touch them. But I was gonna say it's like car keys for me. I take it, I throw it in, and I forget about it. Sometimes I don't even know what's on there. I don't even feel it anymore. I mean, I feel like it's already imprinted into my side.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people say I fell asleep on the couch with it. I didn't even realize that I was still carrying it
all the time. All the time. So how did you get linked up with Sticky Holster?
Not a long story, but I've always been passionate about firearms. I grew up hunting, fishing, outdoors. I shot competitively in college, bullseye, Olympic style. And after I got out of the military, I got a corporate sales job. And after about 2 years of that, I walked out, quit. It was just the corporate lifestyle was not really for me. And I walked into a gun shop thinking, hey, this is going to be, a temporary thing. I like guns. I'll sell some guns, get another, corporate job or whatever. And a year and a half later, I was still there.
But it's a gun shop, man. I mean, it doesn't pay a lot, but man,
and long hours too.
You get to talk to some cool people.
Yeah. Retail life requires a special breed for sure. But so Sticky Holsters is from my hometown in Naples, Florida. So I was living in the Tampa St. Pete area, and a guy that I grew up, who's the CEO of the company, called me and said, hey, this company's really starting to take off. I need somebody with some sales operations background to help me come down here. And I said, I'll be down there tomorrow. And that's kind of how I got linked up down here.
Oh, nice. How old is the company in general?
So 10 years. We celebrated our 10-year anniversary last July. So we're coming up on 11 years. Yeah.
Wow. And so you've done SHOT Show, and do any of the other holster manufacturers give you grief at SHOT Show?
No, I mean, so those are the people that aren't in the industry. The industry is huge, but it's very, very, very small. And you see the same people every year, and the industry is really fluid. So you might be talking with a guy and he happens to work at Remington 1 year, and then he's at Ruger the next year, and then he's at 511, and then he's at Safariland. So it's a really tight knit community. And yeah, obviously there's competition. There's a few companies out there that kind of have the reputation for not being very pleasant. So, but your reputation of how you conduct yourself as a company, as a business, that carries a lot of weight. And like I said, I mean, I'm seeing the same people, up to 10 times a year at shows, industry shows, things like that. So you want to maintain those relationships, because somebody who's a competitor this year, you can still be your
best friend next year.
Amicable. You might be working with him next year on a project for a different company. Yeah. So, like I said, it's a very tight knit community too. There's a lot of networking and sharing and camaraderie that goes along with it. So the competition thing is good, because you always want to try, and obviously, it brings out your competitive juices, because you always want to be number one and do the best that you can and run your race. But you have to do it in a manner that, is respectful and always reflects well upon yourself and the company, because next year you might be looking for a job.
Yeah, you can't burn those bridges.
Correct. Yeah.
So I do logistics here in Houston, Texas, and it's the same thing. It's there's 1,000 different freight forwarders and logistics companies, but when you go to the mixers, when you start talking to the CEOs, it's all the same people, and you never know where you're going to be next week. You never know where they're going to be next week, and if they can give you a piece of business or they can give you a good lead, you can't burn your bridges.
Correct. Especially, yeah. I mean, like I said, huge industry, but it's always the same people within that industry.
Yeah. So when you went to your first SHOT Show, did it bug you out? Was it pretty amazing?
I'll tell you what was the most shocking to me was the size and the money spent on some of these booths. I mean, some of these booths are over $1 million. It's absolutely, people are building buildings inside the convention center, and all my buddies are like, oh, did you see this that came out? And I'm like, I saw the same guy I look at every year standing across the aisle from me. So I don't get to walk the aisles very much because of all the meetings that I'm typically in and talking with people and networking. So I don't get out of the booth a whole lot. But I always, check social media. Oh, I wish I could see that. I wish I could see that. But it's really, it's in Vegas, but you're working. I mean, that is probably the second most exhausting show that we do.
Oh, wow. What's the first?
There's a NRA show in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania called the Great American Outdoor Show, and it's 9 days.
Oh, that's brutal. So I've had to work booths there's a show in Texas. They do it in Texas and New Orleans. It's called Break Bulk. And it's a big logistics show. And it is, like you said, Lufthansa's in there and they build these giant buildings, but they don't spend $1 million. They spend probably a couple $100,000. And it's only 4 days, but it is the first day, everyone's really excited. By the third day, everyone's tired. By the fourth day, just don't even talk to people. They are burnt out.
Yeah.
They're done. I can't imagine Vegas. Vegas must be even better because, you might go to a party or two.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of business is done, in the bars after the show, so we'll do the show. I'm up at 6 a.m. Breakfast, because we don't eat lunch. Breakfast, show, dinner. After dinner, it's emails following up with all the work I didn't get done that day. And then it's always, hey, Circle Bar or whatever bar at midnight. And then you're talking to people and networking, and then it's 2, 3 in the morning, and then you're back up at 6. And the dry air, and it's a week long of that. And then the time change coming back to the East Coast.
So they didn't do one this year, right? Because of the COVID.
Correct. Yeah.
So that means 2022. I mean, I think Vegas is pretty open now.
Yeah. The governor or some politicians up there. I mean, the city of Vegas wants it because they're hurting. I mean,
that's a lot of money.
90% of that town is hospitality and service. So, but I think they put the nix on it just due to the all the liability and all the political stuff surrounding it. So
yeah. I mean, you could always bring it to Texas. We'd love to have it.
Yeah, it used to be in Orlando. They used to alternate, but it is so big. If anybody hasn't been there, I mean, the sheer size of the show is. There's no other place, I don't think, probably in the world that could host SHOT Show. I mean, they just expanded it to two more convention centers. So they're expanding out of the Sands.
The Sands is huge.
Yeah, so it's can't remember. It's like whatever the other two that are right there, but they're expanding into those too.
I used to do SEMA all the time down there, and that was a lot of fun. Yeah, SEMA was great. That was a huge show too, but. Let's see. Is anybody questions here? Charlie's in the chat. So let's see. James is in the chat. Chit chat with tools. Bob Goodwin said you should try working the OTC show. That's the Offshore Technology Conference, and I have worked that show several times. It's a lot of fun. It also is another huge show. It's real big, and people think, oh, you get to dress up and hang out all day. It's boring. It's mind-numbingly boring a couple days into it. It's brutal. It's brutal. Hey, since I'm doing this
show is really fast-paced. I mean, the week goes by really, really quickly. I mean, I usually have back-to-back meetings. Like I said, we don't really eat lunch. It's just back-to-back, and then boom, show's over, and then it's 50,000 people leaving the convention center at the same time. So you can probably find that footage on YouTube or something.
Well, me being a Californian, I used to go to Vegas for New Year's all the time, and that's bananas.
Oh,
I remember it took us 3 hours to go 2 hotels over.
Oh, jeez.
And it was a nightmare. And my wife is super short, so that was not working out.
I'm usually in bed by 10 o'clock on New Year's.
You're getting old, buddy. Wait till you have kids. You'll be outside with sparklers and.
Yeah, we're doing that, but they go to bed before 9, so I'm in bed right behind them.
Yeah, let's see. C6 is in the chat. It says, "Hey, smashing everybody." Eric, thank you for joining us tonight. Yeah, man, I got to say thank you again. That's really cool for you to come on.
Yeah, of course, my pleasure. Absolutely. I mean, anytime, especially on a platform like this where I can talk directly to customers or potentially customers and interact. I mean, that's why we do a lot of the shows. Is I can sit there and I can talk to people and they say, "Hey, I like your product because of this," or "Have you thought of that?" or "Can you do this?" I mean, some of our products have spun off of these conversations I've had with people saying, "Hey, it'd be really cool if somebody came out with this," or "I have this and it sucks. Can you guys make it better?" And then we go back and do our year of R&D on it and make sure it works and it's something we want to put out to the public, and that we feel confident that this is going to work, and that someone's life may eventually depend on how this product works. And we have a lot of stuff that we've R&D that we never put to market. So, but getting that feedback and talking to people is a lot of what my job is one, informing them about our products, the pros, the advantages of our product, and then just hearing the feedback.
Yeah, 100%. So we have Nick Zapata in the chat. He says, "Dang, I think I've been looking into getting one of these, actually." I would say get it because they're relatively inexpensive. I think you get them from Amazon. They're like $25-$30.
Be careful on Amazon. Make sure it's from an authorized Amazon seller, because there's a lot of bait and switches out there. There's a lot of unauthorized sellers on there, and we won't warranty any products that come from an unauthorized dealer on Amazon. We do have a lifetime craftsmanship warranty, but our warranties are completely void if you do purchase it from an unauthorized online seller.
Let me ask you a question. So I've replaced this twice, and not that it stopped working. It's just it kind of started looking ugly on the side. It gets worn out, but it still worked great.
So the average lifetime for our holster is about 2 to 3 years. Yeah. And if you think about it, it's a soft material, right? It's going to wear over time. So you think about your shoes, right? If you wear them every day, they're not going to last 2 or 3 years. Right. So plus most people change their carry guns every year anyways. So,
not me.
I get a new one about every year. But,
well, I mean, with you just, "Hey, John, you hit me up, buddy."
Something new comes out, and I'm like, "Oh, I got to try that one," or "Hey, I've been carrying the Glock 42 for a few years now. It's kind of my go-to, but I will switch it up." So
yeah, I'm trying to find something in 10 millimeter.
Ooh,
I love that round. That is my favorite round right now.
I'm good hunting, camping, outdoors round to carry.
It's just, there's another YouTuber, Hootie Hoo, that just did a 45 versus 10 millimeter on some clay blocks. And the 45 did a good job, but that 10 millimeter disintegrated that block.
No. Yeah, that's definitely caliber that I would carry when I'm hunting or around any sort of
not just day to day
dangerous game. I'm probably not every day. I'm a over penetration is a concern for me. For my carry guns. That's why I typically don't carry anything larger than a 9mm. Typically it's a 380. I really don't. I want that round to dump all of its energy into whatever I'm shooting, and I'm really concerned about if I have to use my firearm and I hit the intended target, but those rounds are going through that person, and God forbid it hits like a 12-year-old girl across the street. You're still responsible for that round. So
yeah, I recently just changed up my home defense gun because I had someone on, the firearms guy, and he was, we talked about what would you grab, and he goes, a shotgun. And I'm worried about over penetration because I like my neighbors. I'd hate to shoot one of them. And he goes, "Hey, just the AR platform is great. If you live out in the country, it's fantastic. But I mean, it's gonna keep going. So
Yeah,
I changed it all. So now I just have a shotgun back there with number 4 buck, and then that
yeah.
call it a day.
Well, my primary home defense is a Glock 17 with a Surefire X300 mounted on it, and then I also have a handheld Surefire with a Thrime finger hold on it because I have kids. So if somebody breaks into my house, I can't shoot a shotgun or an AR while holding my kid one-handed.
Oh,
So
it's a good
I
point.
like having a weapons mounted light so I can engage a target with the weapons mounted light, but I also don't want to point my weapon at everything, which is why I also have a handheld as well. So I can search with my handheld, and
Mm.
with the finger hold Thrime, I can still pick my kid up and hold my flashlight, and then I can still engage a target and activate a weapons mounted light with my right hand while I'm holding my child in my left hand.
Do you
So I
run?
do have a shotgun in our quote unquote Alamo, and I do have a firearm in a safe in every room of my house as well. But I choose a handgun
Yeah.
for that reason because I have to be able to pick up a kid and be able to shoot.
Well, now I'm rethinking the shotgun. Man,
I
you
mean,
guys killing me.
There's never really like a right answer, right? You have to decide what you think is the best tool for that task scenario or situation, right? And what's
Yeah.
best for family and what you feel. If you don't have kids, I mean, I 100% would go with an AR and 300 blackout. I mean, but with kids and young kids, where I'm gonna have to pick up and possibly move, that's just not the most sound option for me and my household at this particular time.
Yeah. So how did you get into shooting in general? You said you grew up hunting, and
Yeah.
you born and raised in Florida?
So my family's really from northern Wisconsin, and
Wisconsin.
yeah, yeah. And I moved
There's
away
some
from there at a young age to South Carolina, and then the mountains of Tennessee, and then down to Florida. Um, Both my grandparents were in the military. My grandfather kind of taught me how to shoot and hunt and everything. I still hunt with him to this day. He
Oh,
served
that's
in the
cool.
Army in Korea. He was a forward observer. He actually shot for the Army competitively.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and so he kind of got me introduced into firearms and safety and all that stuff. I mean, he had a gun cabinet down in the basement, and you wouldn't even, and there's no lock on there, but you wouldn't even think about looking at it,
Right.
for fear of the repercussions of, you just knew, hey, don't even look at that thing. And so I was always interested in firearms, and I started shooting Olympic style bullseye in college.
Now, is
And
that with a shotgun, right?
no, 22,
Oh, okay.
22 bullseye pistol at 25 yards. Um, so, uh, so I shot competitively for 2 years in college, and then I joined the Army after that. And firearms have always been a huge part of my life. So
Nice. What'd you do in the Army?
I was an infantry officer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you for your service, man.
Oh, thank you.
I wish a lot of times I would have went in, because my brother went in, and I saw he went in Iraq, and it kind of messed him up a little bit. And then I got a really good job right out of high school, so I was making good money, and I was goofing off with my friends. Levi is in here. I was goofing off with guys like him in Cali instead of I just I was messed up. I should have went to the service. I think probably would have straightened me out quite a bit. But I got into guns just a few years ago, going on 13, 14 years.
Mhm.
And I love it, man. There's nothing like it. And then when I moved to Texas, game over, man. You
Yeah.
can get all this cool stuff. It's so much fun.
I think everybody should at least shoot a machine gun once in their life.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. And the good thing about shooting too, I have quite a few firearms, and every firearm is a different experience. From Smith and Wesson M&P 22 that you're running suppressed to Plink, all the way up to a Barrett 50 and everything in between. It gives you a different shooting experience. I can shoot a Benelli Super Black Eagle and then go shoot a Beretta Silver Pigeon 3, and they're both shotguns, but they're for two different purposes and give you a completely different shooting experience. So that's one thing I really like is no matter what gun you pick up, 9 mil, whatever, it's always going to be a different shooting experience, and you can appreciate the craftsmanship and the technology in the firearms as well.
Right. So I know that's like if you pick up a 1911, it's history. You can't not appreciate a 1911. I mean, they're gorgeous and they feel, I mean, the design is almost perfection in my opinion.
A lot of parts.
It's a lot of parts, but I remember the first time I bought one, I couldn't put it back together. I had to take it back to the store in a box, and they almost took my man card away. They're like, "Give it to me." And the guy was staring at me as he was putting it back together. He was a Marine.
Yeah, we always look for the idiot scratch on the 1911s in the gun shop when they would come back in, because when you're putting that pin back in, they scratch it right up the side of it. So.
Thank you. So what was your first carry gun?
My first carry gun was actually a Bersa BP9. And
is that like the Thunder?
No, it's made by, but it actually has one of the best stock triggers out there. I mean, people knock Bersa for a lot of reasons, but if you pick up if you didn't know it was a Bersa and you picked up a BP9 and you dry fired that thing, you'd be like, whoa, what
BP9?
What trigger is in that thing? So that was actually my first one, and then I went to 238, and now I'm kind of locked in on the Glock 42. Like I said, we're in Florida. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt and flip-flops most of the time. Carries one or two spare mags, but with I got an extended mag in it. But for me, it's about comfort and concealability. And not 380 is just a 9 mil short, anyways. So
yeah, I like Glocks. I appreciate them. But my wife is going out for a job where she was going to have to shoot a Glock 17 if she had got hired. And so we bought one, and it would jam every single time she shot it. It would jam because her hand, I mean, she's...
What malfunction was it?
A stovepipe.
I can almost guarantee I know what was causing that.
Limp wristing it.
Yep.
And she's Filipino. She's tiny. She can, it's real big for her hand.
Mm-hmm.
And like I would shoot it okay, it's fine, but every second shot it would jam up, and I'm like, this is the Glock that never fails. And just because someone doesn't hold it just right, it jams. And then you could take like an XDM, hold it sideways, and just push the trigger, and it goes off every time.
Mm-hmm.
But that 17, that changed my opinion of Glocks quite a bit. I was pretty bummed out about it, so we sold it, and I don't know. Well, with COVID last year, I was between jobs, so I had to sell every single gun I owned except for 2, and all my ammo, everything. So,
now, wait a few months when everybody that panic bought guns last year are going to be selling them in a few months.
I hope so. Christmas.
100%.
I used to get some really good deals at Christmas. Because when it comes to buying your kids a PS5. They'll sell a gun or two. Christmas is a great time to go on Gunbroker or local here. We have Texas Gun Trader, which is phenomenal.
I've actually never owned a video game.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I started late. I started a couple years ago because my wife got hooked on her video games. So I was like, well, I'll do something too.
I can't sit that long. I got to be moving. I got to do something.
Yeah, I guess. So what's the future of sticky holsters?
Honestly, we just keep doing what we're doing. We take pride in, we're not one of those companies that feels like we have to come out with something every year just to come out with something every year. We're really just trying to expand and grow our dealer market. I mean, we're in about 6,000 stores right now. So
everywhere I see it,
working really hard to grow and expand that. I mean, honestly, the pandemic helped a lot because there was a lot of supply issues on all the products coming in from China. And then just the demand was so high, everybody was having a hard time keeping up with the orders. And we have a lot of procedures in place where we can flex our production up or down significantly. And I think we were back ordered 8 weeks, and that was the longest we were ever back ordered. And we were able to fill and get into a lot of places because they couldn't get product from anywhere else. And because we're American made, we didn't have to deal with all the stuff coming in from overseas and all that stuff. And we keep a large inventory of stuff anyways, just from lessons learned from,
Mhm.
Sandy Hook and Las Vegas and Parkland and Pulse and all those other things.
Right.
We were able to meet the demand that almost everybody else in the industry couldn't keep up. So doing that, we always have products in the pipeline. We've got one coming out here pretty soon. I'm not gonna give it away, but stay tuned for
Oh,
something that's gonna
really?
get released a little bit later. But our belly band we released last year, that I could probably confidently say is the number one selling belly band in the industry right now. I mean, we have people sewing those nonstop because
We
the
bought
demand is
one
high.
for my wife, and she didn't like it. We not a sticky holder, but we bought one a couple years ago. I
Yeah.
think it was like an off brand. I think it was an
Mhm.
Amazon off brand.
Yep.
She hates it.
So what separates ours? We actually we spent with the manufacturer
Mhm.
almost a year developing the material to fit our specs. So we worked with a lot of people in the industry who wore belly bands and things like that, and took a lot of their feedback about pros and cons and things that they liked about what was on the market and what wasn't.
Mhm.
And number one complaint, well, number one and number two was comfort. So for the belly band to be strong enough, you have to use a super rough industrial strength elastic, and it's really rough. It will chafe you, and it doesn't really move with you because it's so tight, and the material is just it's industrial strength, right? So we added a plush to a industrial strength elastic.
Mm.
So that made it more comfortable. And then the other thing was a lot of those just elastic um, belly bands, you can actually pull the trigger through the elastic. So since our belly band is a modular system and there's no integrated holster, you use the holster inside the. Basically, this is just an extension or another waistband. So you carry it
Oh, nice.
inside, right? There's no way you can pull the trigger through the elastic and the holster. And we have accessory pockets for extra magazines, wallet, phone, passport. And because the holster is not integrated, you can still cant it and carry it at whatever height or position that you want, cross draw, wherever you want it. And then if you're traveling, you can use it as a standalone travel band, hide your passport and your money and stuff inside the band while you travel or work out. So there's a lot of versatility to it,
Yeah.
but we're selling thousands of these a month.
No kidding. A
Yep.
month.
Oh, a month, yeah.
Yeah.
Thousands.
Well, like I said, my favorite thing about the sticky holster is how you can just move it around. So say it's on the one side all day, and after it's hot, it's rubbing. If it gets a little sore, just move it over an inch, and you're fine.
Yeah.
I've never had a problem with them. Does anybody in the chat? I mean, everyone, please push the thumbs up for the chat. And does anybody here use a belly band? Felicia, do you ever use a belly band? Felicia's from Dallas, Texas. Yeah, too bad you weren't in Texas. I'm doing a meet and greet on the 24th of this month at an outdoor range. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Okay. I'm in Texas like 3 or 4 times a year. NRA's in Houston this year.
I know.
And then I'll be in Fort Worth in June for the Ducks Unlimited Expo.
Oh, that ought to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's at the Texas Motor Speedway. It's going to be huge.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to go to that. Hey, I wonder if for this YouTube thing I can get a press pass or something.
Doesn't hurt to ask.
I know. I'm gonna ask that. I'm gonna go on the NRA website. Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. Because I go all the time, and I'll love it, man. It's a good show.
Yeah, it's their first. It's Ducks Unlimited first. Their first kind of expo. Built a 300-yard range right outside the racetrack. They've got vendors all inside the infield and in the garages.
When is that?
It's gonna be a massive June.
June.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a pretty massive event.
And it's Ducks Unlimited. Man, those guys are rolling in the money.
Yeah.
I just did a video where I was in Memphis and I went to that Bass Pro up there in Tennessee.
Oh, the pyramid one?
The pyramid one, and huge on the side says Ducks Unlimited. I mean, you couldn't get a bigger billboard than that. I mean, it was
pretty impressive building.
It was really cool. I did a video on it and I loved it. I had so much fun there. The restaurant was a disappointment. I was bummed out. We were all set to stay there, and so my wife walked in the restaurant, couldn't get anybody to come talk to her. So she goes, "Nope, we're not coming back." It's funny how the littlest thing sets people off. HHS Services says he's never tried a sticky holster. Well, you should. You should try one. They're great. Felicia says, I have all types of holsters, was considering a sticky holster, but wasn't sure since I don't really like wearing belts. So wasn't sure about the retention. I don't want my firearm. I don't. You know what? I almost never, if I'm working and I have slacks on, of course I have a belt. Usually I don't have a belt. Jeans, shorts, every video you've ever seen me in, I've had that sticky holster. Every academy I've walked into, every store I've gone into in those videos, I've had a sticky holster. I've only dropped it once, and it was because of me. It fell out of my hand.
If anybody, what we tell people is, it's hard to grasp the concept if you don't have it in your hands, and everybody these days wants to, buy online. But like I said, if you go to our website, we have a dealer locator map, and you can go there. And what I encourage people to do is go into the store, touch it, feel it, and try it out in the store. A lot of the stores, we actually provide a blue gun with a demo holster for just that reason. Just go in there, size it up, make sure it's the right size, tuck it inside your waistband, see if it's comfortable. And like I said, they're usually under $30. And also, if you go to our Instagram or Facebook, all the pictures and photos, we don't pay for any posts or any stuff like that. It's 100% organic. You can see people carrying in a wide variety of different ways.
I remember watching a YouTube video of a girl in a bikini doing a handstand or somersaults or something with a sticky holster in the band. Do you remember that?
I do not remember that one, but we do receive stuff very similar to stuff like that.
Pretty bizarre. I was like, well, heck, if that'll hold it up, hey.
Yeah, we get a lot where people are doing flips or cartwheels or handstands. You'd be surprised. About once a month, we get an email from somebody saying that they were getting in the car, with their coffee and a briefcase and everything. They set their sticky holster and gun up on top of the roof of their car and drove 40 miles to work and got to work, and it was still there.
Oh, man, that's bananas.
That's once a month.
So Jade Chill says, I love my sweatpants. You know what, man? I wore sweatpants with it in, too. As long as you can draw the drawstring semi-tight, it's fine.
So I said, tighten the drawstring, pop it in.
Marty says, you see what Felicia says, Smash? Yeah, I saw what she said. She said tactical girth. Did you see that comment? Did you see that? I love my subscribers, man. They are a riot. Let's see.
Yes, you can order online right off our website.
Nice. Order online. You know what's cool too is I actually bought a sticky holster on accident. That's how I got the Ruger LCP. I bought the wrong model, and I just bought the pistol to match the holster. I was like, I'm not sending it back. What does it fit? Let's go buy that.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was great. My wife, I guess, got a big one for my wife's 1911. She's crazy with that thing. She loves shooting it.
Good.
I always trip out.
Carry what you can shoot.
What's that?
I said, carry what you can shoot.
Oh, man, she's a great shot with that, but it's so big. But it's funny, if you try to give her a small gun, she goes, I don't want that trash. Get that out of here.
She's not a fan of the noisy cricket?
No. If it did that damage, maybe. Bob Goodwin is a good guy down here in Houston, Texas, and because it sounds like my wife. Now, this guy, Bob, he built his wife. Did you ever finish? I wonder if you've ever finished building that 300 Blackout. I think he was building her a rifle. And she shoots 1911s and full-size guns. Let's see. Terry has a question. Is the ankle holster comfortable?
Yeah, very, very comfortable. I'll tell you that the only other ankle holster that I've worn, I've carried on the ankle a lot, that is just as comfortable is the Galco one that has the sheep's wool on the inside.
That sounds
Um,
nice.
but it's like $70 and it gets super hot with that sheep's wool liner on the inside. But that is just as comfortable as ours. What Let me grab one here. So the our ankle biter. So the way what kind of separates our company from everybody else, excuse me, is a lot of companies just put out products, right? Here's a product, here's a product, here's a product.
Right.
We try and design all of our products, as many as we can, to work within this one modular concealment system. Like I said, we don't really want the gun to come out of this holster, right? So just like our belly band, our ankle biter is a strap system as well. And because it's a wrap system, it's also the only one that will go around a boot. So the first wrap just goes around your ankle, and then you mount the gun and you can cant it to your comfort or change the height. Every other ankle holster, it's permanently sewn. And for me, it was always like digging into my ankle bone or my shin bone, or it was right on my calf and I couldn't adjust it.
Right.
Well, ours, you just find the sweet spot, and then your second wrap goes around and locks it in place. We actually, one of our videos on our website, I'm actually kicking a tie pad with one of these on to show that how well it sticks in. Comes with the optional retention strap, and then our boot extender if you're going to wear it around a boot. But
oh man, I gotta check that.
Because you have the padding, you have the pad on the wrap, and then the padding on the holster just makes it so much comfortable. And then, like I said, because you can tailor it and cant it and adjust it so it fits right in that sweet spot is what really makes it comfortable.
So they don't move around too much though when they're on, because that's why I never mess with the
not at
ankle
all.
holster. Oh man.
No, not at all. And you can wear it right on bare skin. It almost works better on bare skin because sometimes your sock moves.
Do you hear that, Rainbow Sprinkles, in the chat? You can put it on your bare skin.
LCP2 is going to be the SM2 for small 2.
Oh man, let's see. Yeah, Galco does send me a lot of emails too, man. God.
They make good stuff.
Yeah, I think I have another holster that's a Galco. It's all right. I just met someone today. I'm getting a real nice custom leather one done. Man, I can't wait. Something, that's something I can just wear all day and just forget about it. And it's good stuff.
Outside the waistband leather?
What's that?
Outside the waistband leather?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys have open carry in Texas, don't you?
Yes, sir, we do. You don't have that in Florida?
No. Well, if you're camping, hunting, or fishing.
Man.
And you want to talk about people getting on a real heated debate, open carry versus concealed carry.
Well,
that's probably the number one over 9mm 45 Glock 1911. That's probably the number one.
I would never open carry just because I don't want people knowing what I have. But I think they did it for the, the imprinting law. Like, if you're flashing, if you're flashing and it's an open carry state, I don't think you get in trouble for it. Like if you reach up and you show your
brandishing.
Yeah, brandishing.
Yeah. So printing's not illegal in Florida, but brandishing is.
Yeah, so if you're in the store and I think if you reach up to grab like a box of cereal or something and someone sees your gun, I think if it's an open carry, it's not a big deal.
So in Florida, a brief display of your firearm in a non-threatening way like that is not illegal in Florida.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Felicia says, I love my Glocks, but I do also have 1911 45 that I shoot great and love shooting. There's something about a 1911, man. I don't know. It's like history. I had a SIG 10mm 1911. I had to sell last year. That was the hardest gun to sell. And man, that thing shot like a dream. Oh God, it was a great gun.
Yeah, 1911s to me are kind of like lever guns. They're just they're really cool, and you feel like I've been running a suppressed lever gun for many, many years as one of my deer rifles.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, way before it. Now it's like tactical. Everyone's throwing M-Lock rails on there and stuff. Mine's just stock wood, and I run a Surefire can on it.
Yeah, I was in the store the other day and there was a 30-30 with this giant loop. It was like a 30-30 pistol.
Oh,
I don't know who makes that, but I thought it was pretty neat looking.
Yeah, I've taken quite a few deer with my 30-30.
So you like to hunt quite a bit?
As much as I can.
Do you bow hunt or just rifle?
Bow hunting is definitely on my list. I've yet to bow hunt, but I do have a Hoyt bow.
Nice.
But I just I haven't bow hunted yet.
I know I shoot all the time my bow, but I've never hunted anything besides donuts in the morning. I don't really, I wanted to go hunting. My brother's a big bow hunter. So he sent me a PSE, that his spare bow, and I've been shooting that, and I love it. And I have a 3D buck in the backyard, and I back up to kind of like the woods, and I love shooting it. And then I watched, was it Cam Haines?
Cameron Haines, yeah.
Yeah, there was another bow hunter, and he's like, "This is how you clean a deer." He goes, "First thing you do is you take your knife, you put your finger in the anus, and you slide your knife on top of that." And I'm like, "What?" I go, "I'm not doing that. That's horrible." I'm like, "I need to find a food processor because I'm not touching it." Like I'll shoot it.
Steven Ranella.
Steven Ranella was the one that did it. That's right.
Yeah. Man, I'd love to meet that guy. He is, in my opinion, I mean, he does hunting right in the way it's supposed to, and he really treats the animal and respects it, and
right.
And he does a lot of cooking stuff and how to field dress, and there's a lot of instructional stuff.
Yeah, I love when he kills something and he just takes out the rock or heats up something. He starts cooking it right there.
Yeah,
it's the best.
Yeah,
but
because of him, blacktail Sitka deer in Alaska is moving up my list. So,
right, because what's funny is that guy is hilarious, but it's funny you mentioned that he treats the animals with respect, because on some of his shows that he's on, and even Joe Rogan talked about on his podcast when he went hunting with them, is
they've got with him a lot.
Yeah, they've got pretty close to good shots, but just because Steve wasn't 100%, he could take it down with one shot, he didn't take the shot.
Yeah,
which a lot of hunters, man, if you're spending all that money to go out there and hunt, you're gonna take that shot. I feel some of them do, and
yeah, I mean, like any community that you have. The good ones and the bad ones,
Yeah.
For me, it's a way that I get to provide for my family. And every time I open the freezer, I think about those memories, and there's something special about, harvesting food and being able to provide for your family, and just being out in nature too. I mean, he talks about that a lot. He spent
glassing
hours, I mean, years, if you add up the time observing these animals in the wild. And you do have a deep respect and appreciation for the animals and all the other animals you get to witness and watch in real true nature. And it's not the, watered down zoo version.
Yeah. I hate seeing animals in the zoo, man. That's not really.
Depends if they're rescued, a lot of them are rescued and probably wouldn't survive in the wild, and there's a lot of zoos that they have a rehabilitation, like they take in injured animals and they rehab them, save them, and they can't survive out in the wild. So
yeah, that's true. But it's anytime I run into someone that's like anti-hunting, I'm like, do you know how much money conservation groups, how
billions?
It's so much money. If it wasn't for hunters paying all that money, you wouldn't have any nature right now. It'd just be done.
Yeah, I actually had a really special conversation with somebody. And it's very rare for two people who have such polar viewpoints on things to be able to sit down and have an intelligent conversation with each other. And she was a vegan, and she, didn't understand hunting and fishing and everything. And we were able to have a really good conversation about all the money that is spent by hunters and fishermen on conservation.
It's got to be $1 billion.
We're in Florida. Conservation and clean waters is huge for us. We donate to those organizations a lot, because without conservation and the animal, I mean, a lot of it is management. If there's too many deer, that ruins the ecosystem.
Right.
And some places are having problems because there was an overpopulation of elk, and they're like, oh, instead of releasing more elk tags, we're going to drop in wolves. Well, they didn't understand what an apex predator, a wolf, is, and now they have a wolf problem. So
I know it, man.
So it's a balance, and you have all these biologists and scientists and that go out there and they study the wildlife, and they say, hey, we need to manage the deer in this state or whatever animal it is, and this is how many tags we're releasing this year, and that helps all the other animals that live there because it's a balanced ecosystem, and there's money going to land management, conservation. I mean, land has to be managed. I mean, the woods have to be cleared so there's not wildfires. All that stuff, the billions of dollars that are paid by all the hunting and fishing license, without those animals and conserving them, there's nothing to hunt or fish.
Yeah. I mean, look at the California wildfires. I mean, when you don't run those fire breaks and cut them down, that's what happens.
Correct.
You had everyone in California saying, don't cut the trees down. Don't cut the trees down. Well, okay. Have fun with these fires because it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's bananas. So Rainbow Sprinkles wants to know what lever gun are you running? A Marlin? Marlin?
Yeah.
Do you like
too
that
lazy to polish brass.
Yeah, but brass looks pretty sweet though.
It does, but you got to run flits on that every week.
Really?
Yeah. We used to polish our Henrys in the gun shop every week.
Oh, never mind. I think I'll do Marlin too. Eventually, I'm going to get a 30-30.
It's a fun gun.
I'm slowly rebuilding my collection. I still have ARs missing parts and all that stuff, but it's a long road, man. It's getting there.
Yeah, there's always the next gun, right?
There's always a next gun. Something people in California don't understand.
Yeah.
Tool says 30-30 is definitely a classic lever. Mm-hmm. Paul Fisher, I grew up in Virginia. Hunting was part of my childhood. I wish that was part of my childhood. I don't know anything about it.
It's never too late.
I mean, I'm a decent rifle shot, and I can pretty at 50
yards. I think a lot of states, especially in Texas, there's got to be some sort of mentorship program too. I'm sure there is, especially in Texas. I mean, a lot of states have those. First time hunter, it's usually a free hunting license, and you go out with the guide or another experienced hunter. It's through like a mentorship program.
Right.
I'm sure there's something like that in Texas.
Yeah, maybe I find someone who'll take me, but it's I'll wear a helmet or in a drool bucket. Maybe they'll have pity on me. So they take me as like a Make-A-Wish. Let's see. Chad Scott says, I've got a 30-30 Marlin Model 336 gold trigger. It's dropped 30 plus deer this past decade. Oh my gosh, that's a lot, man. Chad, we need to hang out, bro. I hope you're in Texas.
It's funny you brought up Make-A-Wish. So we actually work with an organization called the Outdoor Adventure Foundation, and Make-A-Wish won't touch anything with firearms. So Outdoor Adventure Foundation is Make-A-Wish, but with hunting.
Oh, that is so cool.
So they take a lot of these. One of my best friends in the world, he's actually the host. They have their own TV show called Dream Makers. And one of my best friends, Johnny Piazza, he actually used to work for me at the gun shop. He's the host for that show, and they take him on mule deer hunts and pig hunts, and
it's called Dream Makers.
Dream Makers. Yep, I believe it's on the Pursuit channel, and you can find it probably on YouTube as well. But we just started a partnership with those guys, and we hopefully we can find a sponsor a kid to come down here to Florida and do some hunting down here. We have a pretty good partnership and friendship with a guy that runs the I think it's the largest but probably the most famous outfitter down here in Florida called Osceola Outdoors. All those celebrities, Donald Trump Jr. hunts with them every year for turkey.
Oh man, Trump Jr., he's such a big advocate for hunting and fishing. He's huge. Let's see. C6 says, Eric, what firearms do you use for bullseye competition shooting days?
Smith & Wesson Model 41.
Nice.
Yeah, it was, to be honest, at the time I didn't realize what I had. I mean, that gun right now, if you go on Gunbroker, is probably $1,500.
No
But it's
kid.
big, it's heavy, and I used to shoot these competitions against guys that were running Hammerellis, where they're like they send you a clay mold, and you grip the clay mold and send it back to Italy, and then they build the gun around your mold of your hand, and
That's a
it's
little extreme.
perfectly balanced. You can balance it on a pencil. And these things weighed like 4 times what those guns weighed, and
That
they're
sounds expensive.
super accurate. I mean, they'll hit thumbtacks over and over and over at 25 yards.
No kidding.
Mhm.
That's amazing.
Yeah, super accurate guns.
Rainbow Sprinkles, Outdoor Adventure Foundation. Thank you. I'll happily send to them instead. Yeah, I mean, I send money to Make-A-Wish and all that, but if they're anti-2A or just that's not their cup of tea, I'd rather
Not their
send
cup of tea. I don't know if they're anti anything. It's just not their
A lot of people want to
tea.
stay out of politics like that.
Yeah.
So,
Like I said, one of my dear friends in the world, he actually is the producer for Keith Lauren's The High Road hunting show too. But he's the host of that TV show, Dream Makers, from the Outdoor Adventure Foundation.
man, that's awesome. Hey, everybody in the chat, if you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up on the video. I really appreciate it. All right. Is there anything else? Bob Goodwin says, Eric, you and Sticky are the greatest. That's awesome, man.
Thank you.
I didn't even
appreciate that.
know. I didn't even know there was something like that where kids could do that.
Yeah.
Make-A-Wish for guns.
Honestly, I didn't really wasn't too educated about it until, like I said, Johnny talked to me about it and reached out. I was like, hey, I'm the host of this new show, blah, blah, blah. And we started getting in touch with those guys. And, one thing too about our company, we're a small company. It's really a family here. And we do like to give back. I mean, philanthropy, we would love to have our own foundation someday. But we do a lot of clean water stuff. We do fishing tournaments for some of the schools. We had that huge hurricane. We sponsor that fishing tournament. So a lot of cancer foundations we help support. It's one thing to be successful, and we honestly feel very blessed to be where we were at, and we do like to donate and help those who are less fortunate. For us, we're not a publicly traded company. We're not owned by a huge conglomerate where it's all about the bottom line and how much money. I mean, obviously, we care about making money so we can reinvest back into the company. And if we're not successful as a company, the livelihoods of all the employees here go away too. So that's a huge responsibility. But we do like to get involved in the community and veteran services and law enforcement. We usually do something big with COPS, which is a foundation and charity it stands for Concerns of Police Survivors of the Families of Fallen Police Officers. So we actually did a special limited run thin blue line holster for them a few years ago and donated the proceeds to them.
Man, if you do another one of those, I'd love to get my hands on one. I'll gladly pay to that. That'd be awesome. That'd be really cool. You guys should do that again. Cops are getting so much grief right now.
Yeah, we wanted to do it last year, and obviously with the craziness that happened last year, we just couldn't. We just didn't have the manpower to run a special line and do a promotion like that with everything that was going on. So and Police Week was canceled and all that stuff. It's usually about when we launch it. So.
Yeah. HHS Services asked, do they make magazine holders? Yes, they do. I was going to buy it.
We have a bunch of different types and kinds and sizes. I got some right here. So we have sleeves, which work like the holster, inside the waistband or inside the pocket, and they're coming in 2 sizes, super or mini. Your super is going to be for your double stack or large, like 1911 magazines. And then we have our minis that fit like LCP up to like Shield magazines. They come in single 2-packs, and then we have duals. Like here's a dual one right here. It's just 2 of them sewed together. And then we
nice.
have it's called a belt slider. Came out with this a couple years ago. It's mounts horizontally on your belt. So sometimes carrying those mags vertically, you sit down there uncomfortable. This mounts right along your belt.
Oh, that's
There's
cool.
2 slots. Your belt runs through the one slot. There's sticky material on the inside here for retention. So that just makes it a little more comfortable to carry an extra magazine on your person. And like I said, like this one, I got a cap tourniquet and a Glock 19 mag in it. I actually run this on an ankle biter. Like when I go to church, I'll carry inside the waistband, but then, you know, I don't want to load up my entire waistband when I'm hugging grandmas at church and stuff like that. So,
yeah, man, that's funny.
so I, you know, because of the modularity of our ankle biter, instead of carrying a gun on there, I just slap my dual mag sleeve on there, and then I carry an extra magazine and a tourniquet. So the stuff that I can take a second or two to get to is on my ankle. So, but yes, to answer your question, we do have magazine carriers.
Oh man, that's cool. I know I was looking on Amazon today. I got some in my cart I'm gonna buy. They're very cool stuff. So yeah, I know people laugh at me all the time, but I think the 2A community is kind of fractured. You know, a lot of us, you know, I've been meeting a lot. I've met a lot of cool people standing in line at Academy for ammo and just through the first meet and greet, and through online and all that. But gun people in general are very private people. Outside a gun shop, they're pretty antisocial sometimes. I know I was. And I think if we were to reach out, I mean, how many gun owners are there in America? Millions. If everyone takes somebody new shooting and gets them involved, you know how many votes that is? You know how many just, you know, I keep telling everybody, if you put a gun in someone's hand that's even middle of the road curious about it, they're going to like it. They're going to have a good time. And personally, I've taken about 25 people shooting, and all but 2 became fanatics, absolute fanatics. I just took a guy and his wife from England. They had just moved to Texas. They're already
Welcome to America.
I know. I go, have you shot guns yet? No. Did you eat a good steak yet? Not really. Well, we're going to do both the same day, Jack. Let's go. And now he's blowing my phone up. He can't wait to go shoot again. And
hope he's paying for ammo.
Nah, I treat for him. Say, hey man, I tell you what,
$1 around, man.
not my underground. We got the ammo underground here in Houston, man. So our 9mm, we're paying about $18 a box.
Wow,
which is not bad. I mean, but you know, we also
for Sammy Spec factory ammo.
Yeah. Blazer Brass is $8.99, and then. Well, they just raised prices today, actually. I think there was a nationwide. So I think I was buying this 800 round box of 22 long rifle for $51 yesterday. Now today, April 1st, it went up to, I think, $59.
At Academy?
Yeah. See, in Houston, Texas.
Their headquarters are right outside of Houston.
Yeah, their big DSO is right here. There's 20 academies in the Houston area.
Just pop in there and tell them to carry our stuff for me.
Why they don't carry? You know, I've never looked. They don't carry sticky holsters.
We've had quite a few meetings with them.
I know those guys.
Pick it up. Tell them go in there. I have all your subscribers going there too. Beat them up.
I deal with them on the logistics side.
Mm-hmm.
On the logistics side, so I can tell when their containers are coming in, and all of it goes. You know, I help them truck it up to their DSO, and then from there it's broken into pallets and separated out. But we're lucky in Houston. There's so many academies here. Mm-hmm. I mean, within, you know, the first one opens at 9, by 11, if you really wanted to, you go to 7, 8 different academies in 2 hours.
Wow.
And then if it's a 2-box limit in one day, you can get, you know, if you get the bulk pack at the first one, you can get 1,000 rounds in a day.
That's crazy. You guys got academies down there like we got Walgreens and CVS here.
Right. It feels like it. Plus, you know, through my channel, I've met so many cool people. I mean, I get text messages all day, emails, Instagram messages, you know, this academy has ammo. This academy has ammo. So if you just pay attention to that and just shoot around the city, they're still by noon, 1, 2 o'clock. A lot of them will still have 9mm most days.
Wow. That's crazy.
Locally, at least locally here, it's not so bad.
Gotcha.
I feel bad for everyone else because
It goes quickly.
what are you paying down there?
Honestly, I haven't even looked because I keep a good reserve.
Yeah, you know what? That's funny. Everyone gives me a bunch of grief, but man, last year when I was between jobs, it was either put food on the table or have ammo in the closet. So I had to sell everything.
I mean, I'm not really a prepper, so to speak, but I'm definitely prepared. I mean, we have nasty wildfires. We have
Right.
obviously we got hit by the largest hurricane in history. I mean, I took 165-mile-an-hour winds on my front door, came right over top of my house.
That's
You
crazy.
know, I never want to be one to rely on anybody or for anything. So I mean, I've got food stores and extra batteries and ammo.
There's nothing
Like I
wrong with
said,
being prepared, man.
I can hunt and fish. If Publix doesn't open for 2 weeks, I'll be good. So
Oh, see, that's where you got me beat. Because unless it's a squirrel in the tree, I don't know if I could hit anything else, man.
yeah, the Everglades are real close. So
Oh, that's full of stuff. The frogs.
pythons, pigs,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
deer.
Let's
Well, we've
see.
got quite a bit of deer. They're just not that big.
HHS says ammo is still short here in North Dakota. Oh, man. I know. So I had my 10,000 subscriber giveaway, and I said, wherever it is, I'm going to go deliver you some ammo. And it was in Tennessee. So I was like, crap. I was hoping for Florida or like Arizona, nice dry heat. So
We're in Tennessee.
It was up in, where did I meet Brett J? Was it in Lebanon? Like Lebanon, Tennessee area.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was cool. I went up there. We had a good time.
Up by Nashville?
Yeah. Just by Nashville.
Yeah.
And it was all right, but
yeah, I used to live.
There was quite a bit of ammo up there. There was a lot of ammo up there. It's just, there you got to go and wait in line early.
Yeah, it's how it is a lot of places still.
Yeah, let's see. Hit and miss, hit and miss. I know. California, I feel so bad for those guys.
I have not driven a GTR. I am not really a car guy, so to speak.
Boo.
It's a vehicle. I mean, I'm a truck guy, to be honest. If I'm gonna drive a vehicle, it's gonna be a truck.
Yeah, yeah. HHS says he's not a prepper, but he sure as heck is prepared. I know. For someone that says I'm not a prepper, it's like I don't have a get home bag, but in my truck I have a flashlight, spares, guns.
Oh yeah, 100%. I keep a medical kit. Depending on what I'm doing, if I'm going on a road trip, I'll take a full aid bag. But what I normally have, like right behind, hanging over my headrest, my driver's side, I have a fanny pack, and it's got quick clot, compressed gauze, nitrile gloves, duct tape, chest seals, tourniquets. Not just for like the active shooter thing, but car accident, I can just grab that fanny pack off the headrest and go.
Right.
I get in a car accident with my kids. It might be 20, 30 minutes before paramedics get there. I want to be able to stabilize them and give them as much medical attention as I can before
right. 100%.
the ambulance gets there. So
let's see. Paul Fisher, 40 and 38 is really hard to find in Tennessee. I haven't seen 38 in 3 months. It's hard. I just don't see. I don't think they're tooled up for those oddball calibers. They're just focusing on like 9.45,
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, heck, man, I hate to keep you any longer, but man, this has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate you coming on.
No, thank you. I've had a blast. I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come on your platform and talk a little bit about our products and our amazing company. And, we're super proud to be a part of this, Second Amendment community and being able to give back. And very, very proud, and will always be American owned and American made.
Yeah, man, that still carries a lot of weight with a lot of people.
We've
American.
gotten a lot of dealers just because they ask, "Are you American made?" And we say 100% yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, if there's anytime you got some new product, wink, wink, and you want to come on and debut it, or you want to make a video on it, you can send it my way. It'd be great. But I always want to be in the know on something new and cool coming out. So if you got something you want to come on and do a demonstration or something, please keep me in mind. I'll be bugging you probably every other month.
Okay, I'll give you a shout out when we're about to release it. And if anybody has any more questions or want information, you guys can go to our website. We've got a video channel with everything from promotional to instructional videos. We've got our YouTube channel as well. And we're going to be posting more content on that YouTube channel a little bit more.
Yeah.
Not quite like you, but little tidbits of information about everything from shooting tips and concealed carry to a plethora of other topics as well. So
yeah. Oh, look, Finesse finally showed up. I love Sticky Holsters. It's my holster for everyday carry. Very good. She is she's been a viewer since day one.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. And then yeah, if you got something new coming out, now I'm really curious. I'm gonna try. I'll try not to bug you too much, but I'm gonna be all over the interwebs looking for it now.
Okay. Yeah. Give it a couple months. We're building inventory, so put it that way.
Oh, so it's already in production, whatever it is.
Already in production.
Oh man,
that's all I'm gonna say.
On a cool factor, is it like 1 to 10?
I don't know if we do anything like cool. I mean, we're not.
I think
Magpul or G Code or Noveski or anybody like that. But I will say it will be. There won't be anything else in the market that's going to be doing what we're doing. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, that's going to drive me nuts. Yeah. So look, you already got a couple people. Nick's going to go out and pick one up. You know what? Honestly, guys, they're very inexpensive. I would just get one just to have it. Try it out. If you don't like it, for me, I mean, like I said, I've been using it as my main carry for almost 6 years now. So
if you're a military veteran, first responder, law enforcement, we do a discount. There's a you can apply for the discount code right on our website. It's a small thank you for what our first responders and our military and our veterans are doing. So make sure you don't miss out on that discount as well. You can apply for that code right on our website as well.
Tool says you're NBA'd out of your mind. Hey, he can't spill the beans, man. But he wants to. But man.
Yeah, I'll make it I'll talk to you and maybe we'll do an announcement on your channel of what it is.
What? Oh man, that would be cool. Well, hey, Eric, thank you so much for coming on. Everybody in the chat, please check out Sticky Holster. Pick one up. You're not going to regret it. And it's, $25. Even if you don't like it, you'll still use it. I guarantee you use it 2 days. It'll make its way into your rotation. 100%. And yeah, thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I had a blast. Thank you.
All right.